Hello, I am Minja Park, majoring in veterinary medicine at Jeju National University. Today's subject is called the correlation between the coefficient of restitution of a baseball and the spectators. Introduction. The purpose of this study is to determine the correlation between the coefficient of restitution of a baseball and the number of audience at a baseball stadium. In baseball, there are so many variables which can change the game. For example, umpires judge will strongly influence the flow of the game. But in this case, we have to admit that umpire is one of us, that they can easily make mistakes. For me, I wanted to make a research about scientific variable which can easily change the whole game. As you know, baseball is a ball sport and ball is the only one which keeps neutrality between pitcher and hitter, which made me think of the ball's properties. Meanwhile, the ball's unchangeable properties is the coefficient of restitution, and this made me to think of how much it will influence the game. As the coefficient of restitution changes, the home runs can be a pop fly out, and the line drive out can change to triple. The major effect can be a shortening duration time of game. The big difference between other sports and baseball is that there is no fixed time for games. Not having a fixed time is like a double-edged sword to spectators. For positive, having no limits makes spectators difficult to guess the result and arouse their own hope. In negative, spectators can't make their own plan after the game ends, and over 3 hours can easily make spectators exhausted. For these reasons, I wanted to make a research about the correlation between the coefficient of restitution of a baseball and the number of spectators. Information. The coefficient of restitution, also denoted by E, is the ratio of the final to initial relative velocity between two objects after they collide. It normally ranges from 0 to 1, where 1 would be a perfectly elastic collision. The value is almost always less than 1 due to initial translational kinetic energy being lost to rotational kinetic energy, plastic deformation, and heat. So is the baseball. Experiment. First, materials. This experiment will need all the records about the ball's coefficient of restitution. Stats of changes in coefficient of restitution of ball in 2018 and 19. Stats of changes in the playing time in KBO League, also in 2018 and 2019. Stat of changes of total home runs in KBO League 2018 and 2019. Stats of spectators in stadium in KBO League, also in 2018 and 2019. Method. Since we need research about two correlation, we need two different processes for the result. For the first research, we need the statistics about the changes of playing time since the ball changes, which means we have to compare the statistics with before the ball changes. That can prove the change of coefficient of restitution affects the duration of game and the number of spectators. For second research, we need the statistics about changes of the number of home runs. Also, the definition of coefficient of restitution can help a change of home run is derived from change of the ball. Back to research, we need to find out the correlation between the number of home runs and the number of spectators. Result. Changing coefficient of restitution lower positively affect the viewers in online. The total viewers of the game increases. Changing coefficient of restitution lower result in less home runs, and this negatively affect the number of spectators, which decreases. Conclusion. Lowering the coefficient of restitution results in two different conclusions. First, the total number of viewers increases because of the duration of the game has been shortened, and this made their own private time free. Second, the number of spectators has decreased. Each team's batting average and the total score amount has been lower, makes spectators less fascinating. Thank you.